What is up, guys? What is going on? Welcome to the Suit Up Geek Fix channel. Today we are breaking down Hawkeye Season 1 finale. Again, major spoiler warnings. If you haven't seen the finale, make sure you go watch it. Come back and watch this show. To help me break it down, I've got my man. He is Ryan. Follow him on Twitter at JustRyan. Again, what's good, Ryan?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on, dude? Before we get into this, like I said, I can't believe it's almost Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, man. And here we are talking about the season finale of Hawkeye. And it is season finale, bitches, because that was the one thing I was curious getting out of this episode was to know if it was a season or a series, because I feel like Marvel likes to do that with these shows. They like to tell you at the end of the episode whether it's a season or a series finale. So, you know what? I got a lot of theories, but I'm glad to be here, Deebs.
We've got Kyle in the house saying that post-credit scene was weak.
Oh, no, man. I thought it was kind of funny because I've cringed at theater shows like that in New York City many of times. Many of times. And you know what? It's very realistic, because I sat there watching that post-credit scene and was like, yeah, I can name at least 4 shows where I watched this moment and said, yeah, this is cringy as fuck. Why am I watching this? Like, come on.
Yeah. All right. Let's just jump right into our general impressions of this show. For me, I thought it was a really solid finale. I think they really stuck the landing, especially the last 2 to 3 episodes, 2.5 episodes. I thought it was really funny how they retconned Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in this episode. And I would have loved to see Loretto's reaction to this, because I know he's going to see that and be like, "What the fuck?" And but I've said it before and I'll say it again. The MCU has had some really good actors, really good actresses in how many years of movies and shows here. But I can't think of any two who have come out the gates with the performance of Haley, the performances of Florence have. Those two are absolutely must-watch TV, must-watch everything they are into. They have to be the major focal point of the MCU moving forward, period. Yelena is everything, man. I said that last week in our review. That scene where Kate says, "Stop making me like you," and Yelena responds back, "Sorry, I can't help it," is so freaking adorable and epic. It was easily my favorite part of this finale. And I'm just stunned to say with confidence that Yelena has already achieved, like, as a better a character than Natasha has. And quite frankly, for me, it's not even close. That is how highly I view Yelena Belova moving forward. But really, the biggest takeaways here are we're getting 100% a Daredevil Spider-Man team up versus Kingpin. That is in the works. And the other takeaway is Florence Pugh. I think this show could have definitely used a few less subplots and characters overall. We're going to get heavy into that. But I thought the finale wrapped up some things overall pretty well. Definitely one of the better episodes of this season. I still think episode 3 was my favorite, but overall, very solid. What about you, man?
No, yeah, like I said, I think this finale really needed to show me what it's got for me to like really confirm that I personally think this is a top 3 MCU TV show. It's number 3 for me. So I just gotta say, I think they did a really good job with this finale. I agree there are one too many subplots, and maybe they could have done with a 7th or 8th episode. I don't think it needed to go more than 9 or 10. Maybe another episode too could have helped, because this whole Yelena Belova thing just confuses me, because at the end of Black Widow, we saw Valentina Allegra with her, and it seemed like she was the one to bring the mission to Yelena. And then in the show, they tell us it was Kate's mom. And so it just makes me wonder. I kind of wanted just more knowledge of like what Valentina's role is in all this, because right now it just seems like they kind of retcon that, which I feel like they're not doing. But in the eyes of the show, it does look like that because they didn't give us enough information. Mm-hmm. So right now, I kind of feel like, oh my God, it does feel like a bit of a retcon. And I can't really see what they're going to do to explain that difference. Or maybe they connect Eleanor Bishop and Valentina together to a hierarchy. Maybe Eleanor, that'll be her bigger role in the MCU. Maybe she'll be like a co-lead with Valentina. Who knows? Maybe I'm looking a little too into it, but I wish they touched on that a little bit more, because that was the one thing after the finale I kind of felt like I was in a stump about, I guess you can say. Like, I need to know a little bit more. I need a little bit more clarity because it's weird. Valentina's had a lot of like, she's been in a lot of projects already. She's been in like 3 or 4 at least, and we don't know shit about her. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, I was hoping they would do a little bit something, but other than that, I thought this finale was really good. I really liked Yelena and Clint's fight on the ice. Now, I do think it was the way they handled Nat's death and the way Yelena felt about it, not in the best way. I don't think that there was a need for Yelena to get this mad. It just seemed like they needed her to be mad to push it forward. I didn't really find it very believable that they would be fighting like that or without talking at the very least. Like Yelena just straight up doesn't believe him. And like I don't get the reason why on the screen. Like, you killed my sister. I'm like, bro, he's literally not even fighting you, and you're not even gonna give him a second to talk. Like, I found it kind of weird in that aspect, but I thought the fight was emotional. I thought they both acted really well off each other. I actually kind of like their chemistry too, because while Clint says Natasha talks a lot about Yelena, I'm like, that's what they want you to think, because we know that motherfucker was not thinking about her in Avengers 2012 because they were not talking about her. But yeah, I could keep going on, but I want to let you talk, Teebs. I'm sorry, my man.
We have Candace Cinema in the house. Go check her Amanda's YouTube channel out. Please go subscribe. Haley and Flo need their own show. That is facts, 100% facts. Kyle says, I need a Young Avengers announcement soon. They pretty much have done that. I mean,
it's coming within the next 2 years. Yeah, I'll say that.
Everything is building towards a Young Avengers team up, with, Florence and with Haley leading the Young Avengers for sure. That's definitely coming down in the works. Kyle says that's a good point about Valentina. They have been working together somehow, but they didn't show us. Yeah, so let's talk about, the big reveal here, which is Kingpin. We finally got, literally from the first scene, Kingpin gets his much anticipated, major role on screen for the MCU. I just think even in a ridiculous Hawaiian shirt, Kingpin was still scary as fuck. That was really, really funny. That Hawaiian shirt, Kingpin, is everything that I never thought I needed, but now I do. And I just was, I'm just so appreciative that we got it. The shirt was it says it'll break your back, but he's, Kingpin's here to party as well. So was it Vincent D'Onofrio? I can never forget. He just crushes this role, man. He just absolutely crushes. Goes from Daredevil to here seamlessly. My man even shrugged off getting hit by an SUV. He gets blown up. He gets shot in the face. The dude just keeps coming back. He's like the fucking Terminator. But for real talk, though, that last battle with Kingpin and Kate just felt so rushed for me. It was just, I don't understand how Kate could continuously get up. Kingpin was throwing her around like a fucking rag doll, and she just got up like it was nothing. That's kind of been my overall problem with this show. There's no threat. There's no heightened stakes in this show. Even that entire fight scene with Clint and Kate when they're fighting in Rockefeller Center, wherever that was, the cops would be there in one and a half second.
The thing about that though is I completely agree, and that's the double-edged sword in this show's case, is because think about it. You have no time. You have not built up this character whatsoever, and they have not really much clarified what Kingpin we are looking at right now. Where is he mentally? What has he gone through since we last saw him? Because honestly, I'm just going to put this out there. I think he got so fucked up by Daredevil at the end of season 3 that he kind of pushed himself to become genetically modified, or started doing some experiments on himself to become stronger, because maybe he thought to himself that he let a blind guy beat the shit out of him. How in his eyes, how embarrassing would that feel for you as literally a Kingpin, the mob boss, That'd be the most embarrassing thing in the world, that a blind man beats you to a fucking pulp. So what would you do? You try to get bigger, you get stronger. And I gotta say, that's the thing about Vincent D'Onofrio. His voice got, dude, so fucking deep in this show.
Yeah.
Like, so menacing. Like, even more menacing than even in Daredevil. And then he looks bigger too. I don't know if he got bigger or if they like padded him a little bit bigger, like even around this area.
Yeah.
He looks menacinger. He looks like he went through a transformation through his voice, through his posture. I mean, it's obvious he did not die at the end of the episode.
No, that was literally ripped straight out of the comics, man. They literally ripped straight out of the comics. He survives.
Yeah, he survives. He's invincible. He's been shot. He's been blown up. He's been hit by
a car.
Yeah, an arrow. Like, dude, the guy went through everything already. He's been electrocuted somehow, and he's still fucking alive. Don't give me that bullshit. Like, oh my god, he got shot though. Like, no, he got shot early in the episode too. He just chopped that shit. But dude, I loved every second though. It was great. The opening 10 minutes with him, just finally recontextualizing who this character is, especially in a different universe, because now we're looking at this character in a whole different light. And honestly, I think Marvel and Kevin Feige are gonna stick to that dark grittiness that the Daredevil show stuck to.
Yeah, you obviously the Kingpin story here was to reintroduce him, and I think the finale did that really well. He's still that kind of force of nature that we saw on the Netflix show. And I think the whole purpose of Kingpin was not only set up, but give Kate that credibility that she really needed here in the show. Like, not for 1 second did I believe that like Clint could have like a good battle with Kate. Like, Clint would just destroy her anytime he wanted. I think that was like Kate's moment to shine here, that she could handle Kingpin just a little bit. But Kingpin in this fight scene was holding back completely. Like that was pretty evident here. And I just can't believe for a second that Kate just gets up like no scratches, no bruises from literally being thrown across the room like 4 different times. That was a little unbelievable for me on my end. But again, I could not be more excited to see Kingpin's role in the future of the MCU. But I just think the role was definitely unquestionably rushed, and I think it was just it wasn't executed as well as I wanted it to be. Even at the end, that post-credit scene, we're going to bring back this comment, I thought for sure we were getting some sort of Kingpin, Daredevil, Spider-Man reference. You know what I mean? Like, I waited for so long. Like, that's really what we've been so excited about since episode 3, I think they made that reveal. Like, that we're potentially getting Kingpin just pummeling Spider-Man to death in a movie or a TV show or something alongside Daredevil.
This Kingpin can take on Spider-Man too now. They have made him into a version that could take on Spider-Man. If it was the Kingpin in the show, Daredevil show, I'd question it. But they made it very clear this is a much different Kingpin than the one we previously knew in Daredevil.
Yeah, so Kyle says that post-credit scene was weak. We already kind of touched on it. That post-credit scene was so cringy for me, man. I was like, it was such a wasted. It was so symbolic for just a lot of wasted potential in the show. Even the ending. Like, we thought we knew Kate was gonna go home with Clint at some point to have that like Christmas moment, or like a planes, trains, and automobiles moment where they're together, and it's like so heartwarming and heartfelt. It didn't feel like that at all, man. I did not have those emotions whatsoever.
It was funny. At the end of the episode, I was watching the post-credit scene. I just told myself, I'm like, I understand why they did this. I mean, they say it right before the post-credit scene even comes up. Happy holidays from Marvel and Disney or whatever. This is honestly, I think, their little treat, because they don't want to tease anything going into the future. It's the new year. They probably want to drop a lot of information on where these characters are going to appear next, especially Yelena, especially Kingpin. Like, so many different characters to play within this one series that I think they want to just take a break and not really set up consequences even more, because it is the holidays. And we just had Spider-Man No Way Home. Just super downer ending. You know what I mean? Like bottom of the barrel hope for my man Spider-Man. God rest your soul. But I'm also kind of
No
disappointed he
spoilers.
didn't
No
show up.
spoilers. No spoilers. No spoilers.
I'm also kind of disappointed Spider-Man didn't show up.
I know. We thought that was gonna happen.
I swear to God, I thought he was gonna show up. I
Or at
would
least a
bet I
reference of
literally
like
would have bet all my money on that shit.
just a reference of like, I don't want to do any spoilers. Never mind. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna talk about it. Candy Cinema says we just need all of it and soon. I just think No Way Home exceeded our expectations and we got our hopes up for Hawkeye because of the timing. That was that was like one of the first thoughts in my head.
I think that was gonna happen.
The finale had ended and No Way Home was so freaking good that my thought was like, you know what? No Way Home was so good that I can forgive, this show. This show doesn't bother me. Like I like where this is heading with, setting up a lot of different things. But the show overall was definitely, it was average. I didn't hate it. It was average. But before we get into our overall thoughts, wait, we have a comment by Kyle. So I didn't expect Spidey to show up, but a hint of Daredevil would have been nice. I fully agree, man. I fully agree.
I wanted to bring this up because I wanted to see what you thought about this.
Mm-hmm.
So in the episode, we see Kingpin's son. He's in the episode. He's at the family Christmas party, but I forgot. I always forget the wife's name. Lisa, I think. I think it's Lisa, but Lisa wasn't there. Okay. So they have a little explaining to do there because I have to go back a little bit. I have to go and find out if the kid in this episode was the same one they used in Daredevil, but they might not have because of the time difference in just our time and the kid's age or whatever. But if this is the same kid, I'm curious to know if Lisa's died in this timeline because they might be pulling a book from Spider-Verse where that's the whole kind of setup for the movie and the multiverse being introduced is Kingpin is trying to save his fam or get a different dimensions version of Lisa and his son. Mm-hmm. So maybe we might be seeing that later down the line with Spider-Man. Yeah. Who knows? That'd be really interesting.
Just to confirm, like Kingpin is a variant, right? We can all agree, like this is a variant of Kingpin's character, I think.
Wait, of the TV show?
Yeah.
I think this is the same Kingpin.
You think that's the same one?
Yeah, like I said, I think he got the absolute shit beaten out of him at the end of season 3, which he did. He got embarrassed and he wanted to boost himself up, so he went through some like mutant gene or some shit like that, and that's how he became super powerful.
All right, I'll buy that. The other major reveal here was Jack. Holy shit! I think one of the biggest surprises of probably this season was Jack. We've been on this, review, making predictions, thinking that maybe Jack and Eleanor were actually working together. But here we get the reveal that Jack he had no idea. And he was just this innocent swordsman that just kind of got caught in literally a web, pun intended. So Jack was interesting. Just Tony Dalton crushed this role.
Yeah.
He has this like innate ability to kind of be charming and threatening at the same time. He has this like facade of like really super friendliness, but then he can turn ugly really quick. So I hope this isn't the end for his character. I actually was kind of meh about him, but the finale for me, actually, my MVP, not MVP, it's always Yelena, Kingpin, and then Kate. But I thought Jack had some really interesting moments in this finale. So hopefully, I actually thought it was a little bit of a wasted potential. Right? That's kind of like the main theme of this finale is that wouldn't it have been cool to have like Contestas come in and like say, "Hey, Jack, you want to join my team?" You have Yelena stepping out. She's kind of like she's away from that team now, and then you need a replacement. Why can't it be Jack? I thought that would have been kind of a fun moment.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that does bother me about this episode is like think about we can't really assume where a bunch of these characters are going to show up next because they didn't leave any clues to anything. I mean, the only clue we have out of this show is that we know there's an Echo show happening. That's about it, and that's the only thing that really seems to be set up after this season finale is Echo. killed Kingpin, killed her past, killed her brother, and she's done with that, and she goes on to like live this non mafia written life or some shit like that. I don't know, but I wish we found out a little bit more about where certain characters are going with the Yelena, Valentina, like Kingpin. I don't even know what's gonna happen with him.
Yeah, that kind of goes into another concern. Like there are things that this show got right, and like top wise, Yelena and Kate are going to be unbelievable. They're going to be so much fun. Like the MCU needs to focus on those two moving forward. Period. But then you get to Echo. Echo is kind of like, she's getting a spinoff. I just think it's a no-win situation for this character, man. Like Maya's going to be super overshadowed the entire show. If you're talking about bringing back Kingpin, you're talking about
Daredevil,
Charlie Cox's character. Like, and if they're not in that show, no one's going to give a shit about that show. So I feel like Maya and Echo, that whole show is just getting, it's just unfair right now when Yelena should be getting her own show or something along those lines.
But I also think that's a detriment to the writers in this case is they never explain like what her powers are. They say a line, but that's about it. You never get any visual idea of what her powers are. Like spider sense, like every time he gets a spider sense, the screen interacts with the audience to let us know that he's using a power, even though it's an internal power rather than an external. And I feel like that's the thing with all of her powers rather than just fighting is a lot of it is internal powers. Like with Daredevil, when they would hit something and you'd see the vibration go like that. They don't do that type of stuff to help us really see what this character goes through, what really makes her special. Because right now, she doesn't feel too special. It's cool to see a deaf character kick ass, but I know the character as a whole is much more than just a deaf character kicking ass. But that's what the show has portrayed her to be. So I'm hoping with her spinoff, they go a little bit deeper into that because that's where I feel like the series as a whole kind of fell off for me is like, I like the actress. I like who they got. I like what she's doing. I like how she brings this character to life. But the writers don't give me an idea of who this character is. So without that, you're kind of stuck and lost. Like, why should I feel this way? Why do you want me to go towards another show to watch her? That's her own show this time, rather than her in a supporting role in this show.
Yeah, there's just so many things that could have easily been taken out of the show. Kingpin should have been the main villain from the jump. That's really it, man. Like that was my major complaint this entire season, and we'll get to that in a second.
I mean, he kind of is though.
Yeah, but
he really is the over. I get what you're saying, but like it kind of is at the same time. But I get what you're saying. Like he needs to be the full presence villain rather than just be the guy at the top and then come in for the last two episodes because it got to him at that point. I get what you're saying.
The best parts of this show were literally in 2 episodes. That's the truth. That I don't think anybody can deny that. So Manda says it's a disservice to Maya. They fumbled the ball calling it Echo as a cover. And we have Loretto in the house crying. I'm not sure if he just like finished the episode or he wishes he was here. I'm not really sure.
The episode did not make me cry. I can tell you.
It was not emotional.
It was not a tearjerker. But I will say, I feel like enough people aren't giving Jeremy Renner credit within this show. Because like I think he did a really good job. And I think that's why this is one of my higher up MCU shows is because the show is called Hawkeye. And I still feel like I got a Jeremy Renner show while getting all these other characters. And I feel like that's been the problem with some of the other shows is you get a titular name, but then you don't focus on that character because you're trying to set them up for the future or you're trying to set up that title for the future rather than the person themselves. And because that was the biggest complaint of Black Widow is it's called Black Widow, but it might as well be called Yelena. You're more than welcome to become the new Black Widow.
Yeah.
And I give the show credit because at the end of it, Clint doesn't die. He takes her in, and it looks like they're just gonna be building their relationship from now on. And I think that's what the MCU needed, rather than just killing off another just type of figure to show them the way. Their Uncle Ben per se.
Totally. Real quick, how would you grade the finale out of 10?
The finale, I'd give an 8. I'd
Okay.
give the finale an 8 out of 10.
That's exactly where I was. I was an 8. I thought there were some really fun moments here. I think it's not my favorite of the season. However, I thought it did what it needed to do. It set up a lot of seeds for what we're expecting. My anticipation and excitement for the young Avengers, it was already 11 out of 10. That's what this is doing. Like, it's only just giving us like the appetizer of what's to come. And for me, at the end of the day, I think Yelena's presence in this finale last week, she is such a star. Florence Pugh is such a star. She just gets me, man. She just absolutely like when they're going back and forth after that fight, like, and Kate goes like, "You got me really good in the ribs." And she's like, "Yeah, I had really good form there. Oh, that was a really good body throw." Like,
and that's the thing. You can tell that's exactly where they want us to go. Like they introduced Yelena only in July, and we've seen her appear twice, and she's already becoming a teammate with the newest Hawkeye. You know what I mean? Like they're already steamrolling this. Like it's already happening. The snowball is in effect rolling down this fucking hill, and it's only gonna just get better from here because it's obvious that Yelena likes her, and they have a good chemistry, and I feel like they would work together. They would be very dysfunctional, but I feel like that would be one of their key points to succeeding. Let's say.
Yeah, and I think my hype was just a little way too high for this show because everything I heard was like the banter between Clint and Kate were like elite tier. It wasn't. What was the elite tier was the banter between Kate and Yelena. That was just terrific, just absolutely terrific. Make them girlfriends. That is 100% my vibe with this, man. Is that we're gonna see that come down the line. I think that's very much on the table moving forward. So let's go into how we would grade the season, or I guess the series. We don't know if it's confirmed that they're making a season 2, but episode 1 through 6. Ryan, how would you grade this season overall?
I think right now I'm leaning pretty high at an 8.5.
Okay.
I really like this show. I think I am in the minority with this one, and I was kind of prepared for that going into it. Just so many people, I feel like, hate on it because it is a Hawkeye show. I think too many people just see the name Hawkeye like, oh my god, Jeremy Renner is too fucking boring. I'm only watching this for Haley Steinfeld and Kingpin and Yelena. Like, I don't know. I thought Jeremy Renner did a really good job. I think they really did a good, deep enough dive on his psyche and where he's been at from the events of Endgame and just to now. And I think the final talk between him and Kate in the back of the ambulance was such a good talk because you can see the progress of their relationship throughout the entire show, and I think that's the most fulfilling thing because I don't really feel like you got too much of that throughout like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You never felt like Bucky and Sam's relationship really grew too much up until that very last episode because it's the last episode, you know what I mean? All this cinematic shit happens. They have to change after this. But I felt like throughout the season, each episode, Clint likes her more and more, and you can see him opening up slowly. So I think within that aspect, it really worked in terms or in the aspect of its own show, Hawkeye, while setting up a future Hawkeye. And I'm glad that they're doing the father-daughter relationship for Kate and Clint because it's very obvious that she kind of is starting to look up to him as a father figure. I mean, that's sort of her whole speech with him is I saw a normal guy just jump off the side of the building, surviving, not needing to fly with webs or laser. Like that type of stuff is what I loved. And I really think their relationship was very wellly built within this season. And I hope if they do a season 2, they kind of build off that. And I hope they use the Hawkeye show as Kate's foundation going forward. Like that's where she'll regularly appear. and then she'll go into like different movies if she has to. But we'll always see like her main story within the Hawkeye TV show. So maybe that's what they're gonna do. I don't know, but I'm very excited to see the future for those two characters particularly.
That was like kind of like this series in a nutshell. Like I'm excited for where everyone else is heading except for Clint. For Amanda, if you're still watching, I just had this like image in my head, and I'm just again kind of the same thing. I'm like super excited for it. Could you imagine if you have Yelena and Kate sitting at a dinner table with like the Red Guardian played by David Harbour, and they're having like the awkward dinner table conversations? Like I would like maybe David Harbour, Red Guardian is like the future father-in-law. I don't know, but like that would be gold. Having those awkward conversations. I think that would be just gold for the MCU to have that going down the line. For me, I thought the season overall, it was just a lot of wasted potential. I thought the writing was consistently clunky. I thought it was pretty mediocre. I didn't hate it, but I thought that for the majority of the part, the plot was really, really uninteresting. I thought the villains were really underdeveloped and rushed when they actually delivered. I thought Clint kind of like, this was supposed to be a show about Hawkeye, but like this was really about Kate and Yelena. Like Hawkeye some episodes had barely any screen time in this show. I think the fact that like the biggest twist of the show was the reveal that Tony Dalton was not a bad guy says everything about the plot that you need to know there. So I just thought it just wasted way too much time, pointless time on like red herrings, like the swordsman. I thought the side characters, like the LARPers, were just not funny at all. And this was a show that was 100% held up by Kate, Yelena, and Kingpin. And pretty much two of those were only in the last two episodes. So I think the main question of this show is like, what is the freaking point in making anything MCU-wise that doesn't include Yelena Belova moving forward? That is it. Like that, I think she is a star.
I think that's where I respect the show enough, though, because they spent those first two episodes really building their relationship. And you don't really get that with the shows, I feel, many of the other shows. So I feel like even though, that is a complaint, it really is the start of that story, I feel like, because you spend so much time setting up Clint and Kate. And that's why I think it could have used another episode or two if they really were going to keep going down the route between Echo, Kingpin, the sweatsuit gang, Eleanor, Jet, like all these different factors. At least an episode. I don't know about two, but I think one more episode could have definitely helped wrap things up a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, man, I know I'm definitely in the minority. I'm probably going to be defending this for a good minute. But
I mean, I still give it a 7 out of 10. It's not bad. And I agree. It's probably the third best MCU show. I have WandaVision, Loki, then I'll go Hawkeye, and then What If, and then Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So that's my top 5 right there. So let's wrap it up, man. Where can we find you? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, man. So final thought, I gotta say, this is my ranking right here. WandaVision is number 1. Hawkeye is number 2. Loki is number 3.
Wow.
Falcon's number 4, and then What If's number 5.
Okay.
Dude, What If was just such a massive disappointment. I'm like, you can even just see in the way when we reviewed it, just like there's nothing much to talk about because a lot of it just feels inconsequential. And like it is a nice show to just binge, like drop it all at once. I'll go back to every once in a while, but I don't think it really worked in the aspect of the weekly releases because like once the show dropped, everyone talked about it for 2 hours. Then wait, you guys remember that episode? What episode? Like what the fuck? But I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, guys, you guys can always follow me at Just Ryan again. Fuck, right there, baby, right there. Hot takes only on my Twitter. Hot takes only. Sorry.
So we have a Hawkeye character ranking coming tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun. Wheel of Time is getting a little bit pushed back a little bit because of the holidays with Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So Wheel of Time finale comes out in a couple of days. We'll be doing a review on that for sure. Thank you, everyone who's been joining those shows. Wheel of Time is amazing. Sorry, Ryan. It is a much better show than this one. And what else? We have the next draft coming, which is in January. That will be Best Picture Oscar noms and winners. I am.
Yeah, I think it's the 11th.
I'm
I'm
happily,
double checking my calendar.
I'm happily not in that because I haven't seen enough Best Pictures. You guys would crush me in that draft. I've only seen.
I think it's either going to be the 8th or 15th. We haven't clarified on a date yet. So 8th or 15th. I had to look at the calendar real quick.
So we've already those are the dates. There's already 10 people ready to go. People are really excited about that one.
Dude, I'm excited about it too because like there's a lot to choose from.
People like the real movie nerds are really excited about that. Like respectfully, I haven't seen a good the movies. But we have that going. Movie trivia is going to also get a backseat probably after the holidays. I'm not sure what the category will be. Probably something fun. Maybe we'll do MCU because we're on that Spidey train still. We're going to be talking about that for a while. I'm seeing it. My second viewing is tonight. I'm like, I can't do anything at all today. It's like literally I'm just possessed about Spider-Man. Like I just can't stop thinking about it. So I'm gonna
try and see it like the 26th, I think. Again, I finally am near an IMAX screen since I came back to New York for the holidays. So, you know, your boy might be jumping in that. And I'm kind of glad they also just dropped the Doctor Strange trailer because I did not want to wait for it because they did not show it at my first viewing. So I was kind of tight about that.
We have Boba Fett reviews coming in a couple weeks. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Dude, it's like next week. Oh, wait, no, but holidays.
Yeah. So expect those coming. I'm just excited to get back into Star Wars. We've had way too much time off of Star Wars. I'm ready to deep dive back into that.
Such an awful time. I hate the date they're dropping it. It's such a bad date to drop.
Yeah.
Like, drop it the 5th or some shit.
Yeah, totally.
Like, come on. The 29th, like, everyone...
And then we have Cobra Kai reviews coming for sure. So that will also be a lot of content coming for sure. I don't know if we're doing the Matrix. If you want to do a review of the Matrix, I'll gladly.
Yeah, I don't know how I'll feel about this one. I saw the reviews. I'm 18 minutes into the new one on my iPad. I'm just like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Literally, it's just been the first movie rehashed, and I'm just like, holy shit, bro. I only watched it for the first time like a week ago, so it all so fresh in my head. I'm like, I just watched this last week. God damn it. But you know what? It's 2.5 hours too, so be prepared.
2.5 hours?
Yeah, dude, it's 2.5 hours, so be fucking prepared.
So you know what's funny about that is I have friends coming into town tomorrow, and we're going to do a watch party. Just watch it on HBO Max, and we made it into a drinking game.
Yeah.
If anytime they reference the OG trilogy, you'd have to take a drink. Every time they
you guys will be drunk within the first 20 minutes. You guys will be fucking pitch out, blackout drunk by the first 45 minutes. I shit you not.
We have 3 rules. It's every time they reference the OG trilogy, you have to take a sip. Every time they say Neo is the one, every time they reference as the one, you have to take a drink. And every time they slow down the cameras, like in some kind, you have to take a drink. You guys
are going to be blackout drunk within the first 30 minutes.
I can't wait.
Dude, I can't wait for you to tell me how it goes because I'm very curious how that plays out. Oh my god,
it's gonna be so much fun. You know, everyone's gonna be like, not even alive. Like, by the
dude, I'm 18 minutes in, and I would be dead already between the alcohol between all those rules. They mentioned Neo being the one like 30 times already.
Do they really?
They've slowed down the camera like 15.
Oh my god, that's so great.
And they've already mentioned the trailer, bro. Oh my god. Dude, I'm not even gonna tell you, but it's so cringy that you would die laughing how they reference the previous trilogy. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I'm excited. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please be sure to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button if you love Spider-Man and the MCU. Tons and tons of content coming about all these different characters. So again, thank you everyone for watching. You can find the Suit Up Geek Fix channel on iTunes and Spotify if you missed us or want to check out any of our previous shows. Follow my man Ryan. There he is, at Just Ryan again. I am Dibes, Mr. Crockpot. Stay awesome, everyone.
Bye, guys.